Yo, what up? This Deuce, man. Back for another episode of Redzone In the Lab. Check this out, man. Jaden Daniels locked up. Ben Sanat locked up. Brandon Coleman locked up. Commander seems to be locked in. Fans, y'all locked in? I'm locked in. Are the fans locked in, man? We got today. We're talk some more Commanders, man. We got Double A. Double A is in the building. Anthony Armstrong is in the building, man. We're gonna chop it up with him. About playing career, the current Commanders, and I got something about facilities and stuff. I want to hear some real conversations that be going on about how important is that to the players? How important is ownership, front office, when you visit the teams and things of that nature. We're going to chop it up, man. We're going to talk about all that good stuff on the other side of this, man. So hang in there. We're going to be right back.
Shout out Redzone In the Lab podcast.
Hey, what up, y'all? It's Benjamin St. Jude, DB for the Washington Commanders. I want to give a big shout out to Redzone In the Lab podcast.
Yo, what up? Welcome back. It's Redzone In the Lab podcast. I am Deuce, and joining me, Believe Commander show host, former Washington Redskins wide receiver. They told me he's a Dougie specialist. Double A in the building. What's good? What's good, man? How you feeling, man?
I was admiring your intro video, man. That is amazing, man. You do that? You did that yourself?
Yeah.
Wow, that was good. Whenever y'all done, go hit rewind and watch it again because that was good. I was sitting there like the shout outs and everything. That's big time, man. Love to see it.
Oh man, appreciate it, man. So how you been? How you been, man? Like the content is awesome, man. What you been up to? I mean, what do former players do, man? What do former players do, man?
Man, I am in full on dad mode. I'm dad mode. But I've been a realtor for 10 years, going on 10 years now. So navigating family life and kids, married life and all of that. And then how the business side are going to work out, so always trying to stay active and moving, but just been staying busy, man. And I've really enjoyed getting back connected with y'all, the Washington faithful, because it's like, shoot, y'all accepted me in, and I don't really be getting out the house that much. So the internet is powerful. We get to talk to each other, look at each other, and have a conversation, and both cheer for the same team going forward,
Yeah, I love it, man. We got some shout outs. Antoine was good. Riri was in the building. Carlton Double A, what's up, Carlton? And let me take a minute real quick. Double A, we have a huge NFL Twitter community, of course, with the Commanders and different fan bases. And today, Houston Texans, a guy, we call him the OG. C. Roy passed away yesterday, so it's really crushing and heartbreaking. We got the news today, man. So definitely prayers up for C. Roy and his family, man. It's crushing, man. And it's somebody that we've never even seen before, but just the interactions on the app, daily, every day, you grow a bond. Like it's a new way of socializing.
Yeah.
Right. Like it's a new way of socializing, man.
Yeah, man. For real though. My condolences to C. Royal's family, friends, and everyone that that knew him. I never met the guy, but the way that you speak about him, you can tell that he did have an impact. So my condolences to y'all and everybody that was able to blessed enough to have met him.
Yeah, most definitely. Let's talk about you a little in the NFL journey, man. Like, did you come out the womb running? Like, how does that how did that process work, man?
Man, I mean, I guess down here in Texas, down in Jasper, Texas, really, the Armstrong name is associated with speed. So I want to say some of the Derek Armstrong, I think is one of the names. He used to play for the Texans. Uh, they were, I think I'm related to them. They're fast. So I guess it's in the blood to have been fast. But I mean, just along the way, man, I got injured in high school and then kind of came back faster from that. And then as I was working my way up to the NFL, it was when I was in Odessa. I was actually getting to eat a lot of food, and I was working out, and it was in the season, so I actually put on weight and got stronger. That's when I started running 4.2. So I was a little bit older.
That's insane.
Yeah, and I had never ran a 4.2 before at that time, like not at least not on my clock. And so I go to this workout in Dallas. I had skipped a week of the season. And I went to this workout in Dallas, and it was an open tryout. And I ran my first 40, and all the coaches were looking back and looking at their watches like, they were like, do it again. and all the time I'm like, what's up? What did I run? Like, can I get an idea? Like, I'm in the middle of a season, mind you, dudes. Yeah. And then my time comes back up. I run another one. Next thing you know, they giving me business cards. They're like, hey, I'm gonna call you. We're gonna be in contact. Blah 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 blah. So I'm like, oh, okay. I found that I ran 4.2, like 4.28, 4.26, something somewhere in there. And that was when it started. I ran like 5 of them that summer, man. So it was
crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, what does that speed feel like? Like,
man, when you used to ride your bike going down the hill,
yeah.
And then you don't say anything, you just hear the wind.
Yeah. That's how I feel.
It's like that, man. It's like that. And then you take just as long as you ran to slow down, because you don't need to pull the emergency cord. Just slow down, take your time. And I don't know, man. It's like you're floating. I remember Art Briles said that one time when we went down to Baylor and trained with RG3.
Mm-hmm.
Art Briles was like, man, when you run, it's like the song. I think it's the Commodores. I may be wrong on the artist. Like, you just float. You float on. That's the song. And I was like, I bet. And that's just kind of been, an adjective to describe my running style, man. Just being able to float across the field.
So like college, right? You playing in college. Was the goal always like you're there, like you in college? That's like the step right before the dream, right? It's like right before the dream. Was there a lot of pressure in college?
I mean, honestly, I didn't feel any pressure. I was out there at West Texas A&M. Shout out to the Buffaloes. I was out there about my second year. It was my sophomore year, and then the junior year, scouts started coming around a little bit, and I was like, I want to make this football thing like serious. Like, let's kind of let's turn it up right now, because I was out there just playing ball. People said, you're good, and I just was like, all right, whatever. Let me just keep working. And so scouts were coming around my junior year, and I was like, this could really be a thing. And then junior year, you had like all region and, receiver of the year, had some accolades. And then we went on to the senior year and then followed that up. And then, didn't get drafted, so I was like, all right. Yeah. But I did get invited to the rookie minicamp with the Atlanta Falcons. And so when I went down there after the draft, I failed my physical, and they sent me back to school. Like, I wasn't down there but 24 hours. So in my senior year, about a month left in the season, I ended up having an injury that resulted in a fractured wrist and a torn ligament. Mm-hmm. And I played the last month of the year. Nothing came up on the medical, but I had surgery in January. So by the time the draft rolled around, I had just came out of the cast. Yeah. I wasn't ready to play football at that time, but I didn't know no better. They were like, hey, you about to play. So So I get sent back to West Texas, and then I played some flag football in Vegas randomly enough. And I was like, man, I can still ball a little bit, man. Let me try this football thing again. I made a couple of calls and ended up getting connected with the Odessa Roughnecks. So I packed up my car,
Yeah.
drove down to Odessa, solo dolo with some zero playing, and that was the start of it, man. I was like, if I'm gonna play in this league, if I'm gonna play football, I have to go up every single year. I got to elevate my game, or I got to get out of it. I got to evacuate.
Man, like I was watching like the Dougie, and I was kind of just looking at some old stuff, and I saw Rex Grossman, right? Like Rex Grossman really never known for throwing like deep and there's different stuff like that, but an NFL touchdown, like what is that whole process? Like you in a huddle, you get to play, you line up, and your mind, you like whatever progression you are, this can come to me, I can score. Like take us through, like, and I'm just amazed when I talk to former players about like that process, because like we had those processes in high school and college and different, but this is the NFL, it's the highest level.
Yeah, I mean, the one that's over my head, that's that one against Green Bay. And I was thinking about that earlier. It's funny enough you asked, because it's like you get in there and going into the week, you know what plays are called. Certain plays are shots. And like there's some plays where you could get the ball, but it's like, man, ain't nothing sexy like a slant or a hitch. Like, oh, if I get cover 3, they coming to me. Like, I mean, you take it, right? But it's not the sexy one. But then when you get to that shots department and you know that there's a play that's written up for you, because they've studied the tape and they're like, if we get this formation, we should get this coverage. Therefore, we're going to call this play. And so, you watch movies like Ocean's 11 and they work in the combination and they slow down and it's like, oh, they got the right coverage. Everything's falling into place. Finally, it hits and then you unlock that sucker and then the ball's on time. It actually, that play, the ball was late. So this was a much more exciting catch than it ever really should have been. It should have been just a walk-in touchdown. But now it had some drama added to it.
Shout out to Rex Grossman, man.
Yeah, well, actually, this one was from Donovan. So I got.
Okay. This was the one. Okay, the Donovan one.
Yeah, this one was from Donovan. Rex had one in Seattle, but either way, the play, like everything aligned,
and we was down too.
We were down.
We were down like what, three scores, I think.
Yeah, well, it was kind of close. It might have been like 10-0 or something like that.
Okay, I thought that touchdown made it a little okay.
So we started kind of gaining some momentum after this, but ultimately, man, like everything aligned, and then like the ball's in the air, and like that's all the noise. It's like, and it just turns down, and you don't hear anything. And I knew at this point on this play, I knew that the ball was late. So I was going to have to play back into the DB and he was trailing. So I just prepared myself.
How was he trailing though?
It was cover 2 and I ran my bench post. So I ran out a corner and that safety took off that way. And then when he went there, I took back up to the post. Yeah. And so like I got all my momentum too. Like I'm going full speed. I'm like, bam. And I'm like, it's cover 2. I'm finna eat this up. And the ball, I looked up first, Deuce, ball wasn't there. I was like, what the hell? So then I looked back down. If you watch the clip, I looked back down and I checked my bearings a little bit because I had to see, am I going to run at the back of the end zone? Where am I at? I look back up and there's the ball. I'm like, bet. So like I said, everything gets mute. It's just the ball floating up there. And I just elevate, man, stick my hands out, hit your hands. I just squeezed as hard as I could because his arms were coming right up underneath. And he was trying to knock the ball out. So if I would have pulled it in, he'd have knocked it out. Man, I held that ball up high. We hit the ground. Like, I literally held the ball the whole time. I did the Dougie with the ball in my hand. like it's like you visualize those moments, though.
Because that was like, what, 70, something like that?
That one was 48. That one was 48. I had a couple of long ones, but yeah, that one was like 48, man.
You had a couple long ones from Donovan too, because I remember one that was like plus 70.
Yeah, that was the week prior. Right? That was that week prior in Philly. I got tripped up on like the 21-yard line, man. I was so pissed. Should have scored, man. That should have been the first one. But hey, well, it was just a build up. But now, like when the preparation goes in, like you're prepared for those moments, right? Like if you've studied the film and you've studied the plays, on the field or in life, whatever. You just like, all right, this is what could happen, and I'm expecting
Yeah.
this to happen, and you're ready for it. You just got to step up and make that play.
When the last time you dug it, man?
Man, actually, I dusted it off maybe a couple of days ago.
For real?
Yeah, man, we were showing some highlights to some family, and they were like, "What's that dance?" And I'm like, "Oh, that's the Dougie. I can show you what's up, man." But I always had to say this, man, since I'm from Dallas, I'm from Carrollton, it's part of Dallas. Lil Will, my Dougie, that's the appropriate one.
Okay.
All right, everybody wants to
Okay.
play "Teach Me How to Dougie" by the California Swag
Yeah,
District.
yeah. John Wall joint. Yeah.
Yeah, like no disrespect, still a good song. But
Yeah.
when I'm doing the Dougie, it's Lil Will, my Dougie. All right, so just go look that up, run that one, and then we doing it. You know what I mean? That's
Oh
the
man.
originator.
You ever danced off with John Wall in Dream or Club Love while you was in DC?
No, man, I did not, bro. I did not go out there much. I remember I went out one night though, Deuce, man. Where was we at? Park? Oh boy, we was at Park one night. Golly,
Crazy, right?
amen.
Oh
Yes,
man, my man
Lord.
Chuck said the Lil Will joint hot, so
Yeah.
he know about it. He know about it for sure, man. All right, man. Let's get into a little bit of football. Like a lot of a report came out a couple of days ago about the worst stadiums and all that different stuff. And of course, we've always been low when it talks about facilities and things of that nature. But as a player, how important are the facilities?
Man, I'll say that to be fair, not every team has bomb facilities. Like you may assume it. You kind of think, oh, it's the NFL. Everybody got. It's not how it is. It's a business ultimately. The teams that have the best stuff have new stadiums that happen to be associated with their facilities. Right? You thinking Dallas, you thinking Vegas. You look at the same NFLPA survey. One of the teams at the bottom, Kansas City Chiefs.
Yep.
I ain't heard not nan one of them complaining because they walking around with 3 rings, three rings on their finger.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? So winning will is above everything. But honestly, for me, and I don't think it's that big of a deal. I mean, because you want to be in the league, right? Like
sure.
like if it is what it is, there's some teams that are notoriously cheap. Right. Like I remember they talking about, I think the Cardinals was one of those cheap teams where like you get one pair of shoes all year and then you figure it out. You like, damn, I can't get no shoes, So like some teams are just cheap like that. Other teams will take good care of you. And I can say this, hey, yeah, what's up? We're threw me off. Damn. No, like I can say how like there are some
I know
situations.
memory popped up, Double A.
Huh?
A plan old memory popped up.
Watch out now. Addison, maybe. Like you do think about it, how players are treated, because you've heard it before with this team, how maybe the family section isn't that good or things of that nature, and there's various levels of it. There's some various levels, and I always compare Washington and Dallas because I spent some time with both. Jerry take care of his people. Like Jerry takes care of you. Like the media is fed well, like everything is top tier because that's just how he wants to deliver everything. And I think it's also a Southern thing. But he's gonna feed you. He's gonna take good care of his people. Now, they still they haven't won anything in a while, so what good does it do? But you do know that you're going to be taken care of, and that you're working in a top class facility. So I could see it being something that could sway it, but it's not at the top of the list.
Yeah, for sure. The Alumni, and last year, one of the training camps you came to, like I was at, chopped it up a little bit, and that was the one, like a lot of the former players were there.
Mm-hmm.
Like we saw Mike Sellis, hope he continues to get better. Like we saw a whole lot. How important is having a strong, supportive scene alumni within not just us but any NFL organization?
Man, it's huge. It's huge because you often feel like nobody knows what you're going through.
Yeah.
And then to be able to see some people that have come before you, regardless of the level of success, to see them come through and support you and be able to have somebody to lean on and talk to. I mean, that's big. I mean, you already look for it inside of your locker room where you want some veterans to be around, right?
Right.
And and then in the same breath, like why not have a retired player who's gone on to, success off the field to be a resource for your guys in the locker room. It just builds a stronger community. Um,
Mhm.
and it just makes everybody more connected. So that was a specific alumni day. I just happened to be in the area and it timed out to go. And I was like, I want to be there. And I'm glad I went. So I'm impressed with how the new ownership group has done things. They made you feel welcome. They took good care of us all that whole weekend, and they fed us well, and showed us around the city a little bit, and it was good to be recognized at the game and get back around the fans too. So that was love.
Yeah, man. Like, and just seeing, retiring Darrell Green's jersey, which was overdue. Just to see that and just see how the alumni is so engaged now. Like you hear him talking about him, you see him here, you see him there. They are excited and all that. You just kind of look at it, and the how the old ownership was compared to the new. And you really see it. It's not like everyone talked about it for the last 30 years. He's horrible, but just seeing how reconnected you all are into the fan base goes to show, like, man, we really missed them over this time.
Yeah, it is big. 'Cause I mean, I'm thinking way back, when I was up there. I mean, there were some vets that were around, but not to this extent. Not to this extent that you had people flying in and going, all right, birthday wishes. Hey, hold on. Um, it's good to have that connection. I saw that they had a couple of rookie alumni dinners. Like they sent the rookies out with
Mhm,
the former players, and they were able
mhm.
to chop it up and break bread. Like that's big. That's big to have somebody that you can lean on and reach out to and answer questions, and you know it's a good resource to have.
Yeah, and just being at practices, just walking around, like you seeing like Joe Theismann, like you seeing Doug Williams. I mean, come on, man, like
Yeah,
you just standing right there. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? And
yeah.
like I was at one of the training camps. Like I go to a lot of them. Like I have my is in this case, football I had signed. It so happened that both of them was there the same day, and I got both of their signatures like right next to each other.
Wow.
That's crazy. But just having them there, and that's another thing. Like the vibe of training camp. From what we're saying, I'm not sure if you went by or whatever, but just the vibe of it and the people that you talk to, like what type of, like, what's the real vibe there at Commanders Park?
Man, that training camp day, everything and everybody's language is so positive.
Yeah.
It's so positive and refreshed, and feel like a legit dark cloud has been moved out
Yeah.
the way, and there's some bright days ahead. And then that really builds into what's going on with Dan Quinn and what he's been able to do, and Adam Peters and the way they're working, because everybody's got the same positive talk, but
Right.
there's some humility about it, and it's like, we think we can be pretty good, but there's a lot of work to do, type of a thing. And I think that's the mentality that you got to have. Put on your work hat, put on your hard hat, and pick up your toolbox and get to chopping, because you do got some work to do with this. I mean, you're in a division that you mess around and win this thing.
Yeah, it's a chance, man. All right, let's talk about some players, man. Let's just kind of dab back in the draft real quick. Who was your favorite person that they drafted? Who was the favorite player that they drafted?
Man, if I'm gonna say not Jaden
Of
Daniels.
course, of
All
course.
right, so if I just take him out of the way, I think that I'm liking. I'm interested to see what Sanders still does.
Yeah.
I'm interested to see what he does, and hearing more about Ben Sinnott his flexibility, playing in multiple positions. Interested to see how he shows out too, because you get a couple of weapons, right? Sanders still's like, put me
Yeah,
in the slot and
right.
let me
I
cause
know.
havoc. That's what
Yeah.
he said. And Dan Quinn's had success with DBs that have been receivers. So
And they
we have
talked
some.
about that in the Commanders log. When they was talking about AP's like, look, he used to play with receiver. He has great hand. I mean, Dan was telling that to Josh, like he has great hand. You know what I mean? So that's definitely big. How concerned are you with the offensive line? I'm particularly talking about like Brandon Coleman. A lot of fans were upset about it. Not getting a tackle higher, and he's he played more guard and then tackle. Where are you with the tackle position?
Man, I mean, you still have to have some questions across the offensive line. I mean, no disrespect to Brandon Coleman. I'm sure he's going to have a hell of a season. He might surprise all of us. I hope he does. But I think you still have to consider getting a veteran at that position just to be, some backup. Because if you trust everything else that they've done in this draft, you have to trust what they've done with Brandon Coleman. I mean, that clip that was on. I saw it on Twitter where he was doing the blocking drill where he was kick sliding left and right. And one of my biggest questions, because every tape I saw him, he was a short set guy. So he would just sit up and then just hold fort and then put paws on people. And you can't do that in this league, especially if you're going to be playing tackle.
Yeah.
As fast as those ends are, they're already past you. So I needed to see him kick slide and gain depth and width and be able to do it going both ways. In that drill, I was like, okay, you might have something. Like they're looking for specific things. So you got to trust what they're doing with him. But there's still that level of concern. I mean, you're still a rookie, coming from guard to tackle and going against, you name out Kayvon Thibodeau and Brian Burns and Micah Parsons and Hassan Reddick and whoever else Philly trying to throw. Every week is going to be some heat. Plus Myles Garrett coming to town, even though he's going to be on Wiley's side most of the time. But
who knows what he's going to be for real?
It's not going to be easy, right?
Yeah,
but
most definitely.
But the good thing about it is
let's hope Wiley not out there. But go ahead. That triggered me. Go ahead.
My bad. Look, whoever's out there, I think that you got help with the tight ends and like a Zach Ertz, and then Austin Eckler. I think those guys come up big on third downs. Ideally, you don't put your tackles in a position that are going to be like, all right, it's you one-on-one, like there should be some sort of a chip. Jaden seems to be smart enough to process to get to check downs quickly. So a combination of Eckler in the backfield helping with protection and chipping and picking things up and having quick outlets to tight ends and things like that and mixing some play calling, I think that you can get past it, but it's still a concern. Still need some help.
So as a former player now outside looking in, you have content, podcast, you're doing, you looking at this offense, looking at these players. When the players and Jaden, they talk about Cliff, having an open door policy, they're able to give input. He asked them for their input. How do you like this? How do you like that? Like, is that like is there a line there at all? Is there a line there at all?
No, I mean, I think it's a good thing because there are too many times where you're out there and you're just beating the drum and you're doing it because that's the way you were told to do it. Cliff's talked about it, that the players have a unique view. Like, I'm on the field, I'm running, I see this thing right now in front of me, and if you're going to trust them enough to put them on the field, you got to trust that they're going to be giving you the right feedback. Plus, you can check the film and see this, right? Yeah. So, if they see something that they like, hell, I mean, you saw it worked well in Kansas City. You give those guys some ownership of some things, they get to mix it in there. So it's not a bad thing, and that's the only way that you're going to stay on top of things in this league. Is just allowing some flexibility. So I like it, but I don't think there's going to be any like dictating play calling. Right, like you ain't gonna tell him what to call, but like you can say, "Hey, man, we should dip instead of zig instead of zag on this one," and I think we got something.
Is Terry top 10 wide receiver with you?
Man, I think coming off of this last year, it hurt him, but I do think he's like in that definitely top 15, top 12. Just so underrated. And I think that we fall in love with stats, which are important. And there's a lot that go into stats. Like you look at some guys, you're like, why is he always open? It's because they scheme him open. They call a play to get him in that position, right? Terry McLaurin lines up on the left side. That's where he been the majority of the time. Outside left, he's an X receiver. And when you're limiting what the person is, sometimes he's on the other side, sure. But when you're limiting people moving around, you're not scheming to get him 10, 12 targets. It gets tough. So, I mean, the way that he's had success with God knows who at quarterback, it doesn't matter. He still has success with it. It's something to pay attention to. He makes big plays for us. He's a hell of a leader. Ain't heard him complain not one time. So I do think he's top 10. And if you get him somebody who's going to scheme him open and get him 10, 12, 15 targets a game, you'll really see what he could be.
And should it matter if the defense is coming and looking at him as the best player, they might put somebody over the top, try to double him. But like the best players in the league gets double, triple coverage, and the highest paid player out this last week, non-quarterback.
Yeah,
he played 6 games, got 1,000 yards. So you telling me they not doubling him? So it's all about scheme and targets. And I think it just seemed like for him to be the best player, he was never prioritized.
That's you're 100% correct. Like if you're playing at the X receiver and you're on the line of scrimmage, you're not going in motion unless somebody shifts you. But if you sit there and let them, and it's a cover 2 because they're rolling over the top, like you're just scratching him off immediately. So you're right. You're not utilizing him the right way. You're not finding ways to get him open and put him in other positions. Now, if you are getting that look, everybody else needs to eat so he can get the pressure off of him. And then now they have to go back and forth, right? They have to decide who do you want to take the chance to get beat by this time. So, I mean, there's a method to the madness, but I would love to see Terry moving around, right? Get him a few catches early. Get him started, 2 or 3 in the first quarter. I'd love to see that. Let him get some momentum going, and then it'll just grow from there rather than just standing stationary.
Yeah, and just like they did the last game of the season to get him 1,000 yards. Look, force him, force the ball to him. Doing it like early in the season. How about that?
Yeah, get him rolling. I mean, tell you, Justin Jefferson. I watched some of the tape for him. Like I'm looking at it like, damn, y'all just gonna move him to get covered by a linebacker. That was easy, no shade to the game, and he makes it happen. But I'm like, damn, they give him easy opportunities to be running in full speed against not very many people.
The weapons for this team, the skill position players, how confident are you that these weapons can produce?
I got a fair level of confidence. I think that what Terry can do. We talked highly about him, and Jahan, he's coming off of a down year. But once again, I think that you're going to see him be in positions to catch balls running. Not necessarily having to go deep all the time, but I just feel like he's going to he can run all the routes. He's very talented in tight spaces. So I think that he'll catch a lot of underneath things and get some catch and run, and he'll be probably a high volume guy. We talked about Senate earlier, like he could be something, but you just don't know yet with that. And interested to see how McCaffrey plays out. Seems like he's building a pretty good relationship with the quarterback, and he's got a savviness about him, and he's probably going to block his ass off, and he'll be where you want him to be. So I mean, he ends up being an asset there too. So I want to see how B-Rob does as well, man, because that Philly Brian Johnson coming from Philly, that gives me some confidence that they're going to figure out a decent run scheme. And then Cliff will bring a more elaborate passing game than what was in Philly. So interested to see how B-Rob is utilized.
Yeah, can't wait, man. Then they got Anthony Lynn there, who's been doing it for years. So it's a lot of coaching there. And just to get right in that point before into that, before we let you go, how important is coaching? Because like last year we saw, like, I probably say the only positive thing that from last year where I saw someone improve or something we didn't see was B-Rob, and that's catching out the backfield. So how important is coaching to players' actual talent?
Man, it's huge. You talked about that. That's what Dan was saying. You got to learn the learners. Got to find out how they learn and get them the opportunity to do what they do best. And that's all you can ask for. I mean, like if you're a fast guy, you're like, let me run the fast people routes. Quit making me run the short stuff sometimes, right? So, uh, and you've seen the success with Dan Quinn. You're finding guys to do something. Hey, we can do this for about 12 plays on defense, and they'd be the best 12 plays because that guy is able to focus on that one thing. So the coaching is big. Having the respect for the guy is big. Most of these coaches have either been doing it for a long time or they've been a head coach in this league. So, like, I think that's a very strategic build and an attribute that's amongst these coaches. Because most of the time, you get you imagine if you'd have got the young guy out of Detroit, like that'd have been a whole different staff. He probably wouldn't have been able to acquire these Avengers. You know what I mean, and bring them in. But Dan Quinn's had that ability too. So I think Anthony Lynn and Ken Norton Jr. and all these names are so much. Even Larry Izzo, special teams
most
coach.
definitely, he's gonna have his hands full. Oh, so but before the kickoff rule, man, would you have loved that when you played the new kickoff?
Man, the thing about it is that it's what we would do as a drill to take out a lot of running in practice when you had to do special teams.
Oh, okay.
So that's what this is. Now they've taken away one aspect where you would give the return team a little bit of a head start to gain, like maybe they need to be 8 yards away rather than 5 yards away, because you got to think about it. People's speed matters, right? We're running down the field. I'm getting down way before Lorenzo is. I'm causing confusion, and then Lorenzo's the sledgehammer. Now everybody's 5 yards away. So now you got to think, do I want the smaller, fast receiver who maybe can't get off of a block? Now you have to put a DB, right? Maybe. So you change the personnel, which could change how your numbers roll out. That's one thing. But I think as on the return side, I think you could see some more bigger returners. Cordero Patterson's, B-Robs.
Yeah.
Because if they can get through, and you got to imagine they're buttoned up, and at the best, two guys both guess right, and the defenders close that same gap. You trying to run through two people's shoulders, essentially. You need to have a bigger person for that. Maybe you don't have the small, quick guys back there as much because there's not as much space. But then hell, maybe you do because they can just get right through there. And once you through, you gone, man. It's Katie by the door.
Yeah, this is gonna be very interesting to see. This new kickoff rule. I mean, I know the XFL, UFL have done it the last couple of years, but this is the NFL, man. Like, it's gonna be definitely something. And you can tell a lot of coaches is really like paying a lot of attention to it. You got OCs now that's going to be in the mix because now it's like running plays and strategizing and different things like that. But yeah, man, we glad. I'm so glad you was able. And you mentioned like Lorenzo Alexander, one man game. Man, remember that guy. Yeah, man. So definitely appreciate you joining, man. Go ahead, put out like how we can watch the Believe Network. Who came up with that name? Like the spelling of it.
I'm not sure, man. That was above me and above my pay grade.
Yeah, okay.
It is the Believe in Commanders podcast. It's over there on all your favorite streaming platforms. Got a YouTube, so y'all can check that out. I should be putting something up here maybe over this weekend, so I'll get some more content out there for y'all.
Yeah. Are you enjoying doing content?
I enjoy it, man. I've learned that I gotta plan some of this stuff out a little bit more ahead of time. That way, when I sit down, I can just do it. Like I can't come down and try to find stuff, and I'm just trying to tighten up my process.
It takes time, man.
It does take time. I am at awe of how y'all do it, and like y'all make it look good.
Matter of fact, like I was trying something and I was rushing too fast. Like I don't even know.
What's up there? I see it.
How does this look to you? Does this look okay? What does it look like?
See. Oh, my thing is I would probably drop the background that you had, the red one, because at the bottom there's a whole bunch of text. because
Yeah.
you have one beat, one sound, one heart, one love, and then the podcast above that, and then our names and things in there. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I'd go something like that, and then maybe you only have the red zone in the lab across the top.
Across the top. Okay.
That'd be my put a
Yeah,
nice
because I knew because I was like you said that time, and because I wanted to try something new because I've been seeing a lot of different overlays being used, and I was like, nah, I don't like this. I ain't using that. But
yeah.
yeah, but
Oh, that
definitely
was
appreciate you, man.
yeah, no problem, man. Thank you for having me. Yeah, y'all check me out at Rated Armstrong on Twitter, man. Hit me up with some questions or something, man. I would love to interact.
Oh yeah, we can definitely do that. I mean, I've done that with Logan before. It's kind of promote a show for like a week out just with questions and having interactions with the fans to come on and ask questions and different stuff like that. So
Man,
yeah, man, be definitely.
awesome, man. Appreciate y'all. Y'all be good. Stay
All right,
safe.
appreciate
It's
you.
a mindset, y'all. Y'all be good.
All right, peace out, man. Thanks. Oh yeah, my bad, Chuck. He has before though. Yeah, he jumped into space before. I'm sure he'll definitely do it again. That ain't gonna be no problem. Yeah, man. Come on, Will, man. Hey, Will, wow, man. Yeah, man. So what's up, man? That was double A, man. It was good to get some things from his perspective, especially like facilities. Like these players only care about winning, man. Like the facilities is important. I'm not saying that is not, but if you're winning, all right, you know what I'm saying? Like it is what it is. People want to go to winning organizations, and a lot of times, a lot of these owners, when they are winning, they kind of neglect the those things, the small things. Um, we was talking about the like Kansas City, having worse facilities, but they winning rings. And nobody care about that. You know, that's the thing, right? When I kind of talk about Howie Roseman, right? Winning covers and losing uncovers. When you're winning, a lot of those mistakes that you make and those neglections, when you're neglecting things, like all of that stuff is being covered over winning. Like winning covers all, man. Winning covers all. But once you begin to start losing, now people starting to look at you a little more detail. Now they, that cover is pulled over and they saying they like, why are they losing all of a sudden? Then they start digging to see why you're losing, and all those things that you've been hiding starts to come up to fruition. They starting to see, oh, look at this. They ain't been doing this. They ain't been doing that. And that's what it was, and that's what it usually is when you talk about, especially this game of football, man. Like if you winning, what's up, Key? If you're winning, a lot of the smaller things is just ignored because you're winning. But yeah, man. So we I'm trying to see if all of our rookies signed yet. We have four signed this week. Jaden Daniels signed his deal, his rookie deal. He's locked in, which is great. Ben Sinnott locked in. Newton locked in a few days ago. And Brandon Coleman locked in. I don't have their numbers. I've been on here, so I don't know if they put them out. But Jaden 4-year, $37.75 million, fully guaranteed, with a 24.3 million signing bonuses. These deals is locked in because of the new CBA. It's just kind of like how you're going to work the guarantees. Like the money is going to be like, just for instance, you're going to get $10. You're going to get $10, but it's how you're going to get it and when you're going to get that $10. Right. So that's kind of like the differences, with these deals and why they're not automatically signed right after the draft. Like people say, well, if they already allocated, then just sign. It's not that simple. Like we have this $10. You're going to make $10 over the course of this contract, but it's how and when we're going to give you that $10. And I think those are some of the things. Then that's, the rookies, those that don't kind of sign, will sign later in the summer, and that's what they're trying to work out. How much of a signing bonus? Like some players, I forgot who I forgot. It was a quarterback this year. I'm trying to think of. I saw last week. Like they wanted all their signing bonus right off the bat. Like they wanted all of their signing bonus, like up front. Man, who was it? Maybe it wasn't a quarterback. It was a player. Man, I can't think of it. If y'all know who it is, let me know. But they wanted all their signing bonus up front. I don't see the other ones' deals yet. But I'm excited about that, man. Let's get these rookies signed. You know what I'm saying? Like get that part, they don't have to worry about that, while they take this lead for the next 6 weeks. 6 weeks, man. That's gonna be a little while, man. But yeah, man, but the Commanders log was good, man. It was fire. If y'all didn't see it, definitely go back and watch it, man. We did the reaction of it last night. My first time watching, and we just reacted right off of it, man. It was awesome. It's a lot of good stuff in there. With the Commanders log. Just that process of being able to see the behind the scenes of of the draft, and you can tell all the edits. There's so much we still didn't see, right? It's so much we still didn't see that goes on in the war room. Like they only made us privy to what they wanted us, privy to, the phone calls that they had with other teams, the conversations about players, for what they wanted us to see. You can tell like the big board that was on the dry erase board was blurred, so you couldn't see it. Like, they didn't want us to see what players they wanted or what players they had, graded higher than other players. But it was a system. You see, it was color coded, and usually color code goes with grades. You have certain grades. I think grades go from like 3 to 9 or something like that. And it's kind of broken down to, boom or bust, first year starter. You're going to be generational, or you're going to take 2 years to develop, 3 years to develop, all of that. So all that is calculated. So it's a lot, man. It's a lot of work. And what I really liked about Adam Peters is he commanded that room. And for somebody that hasn't really been in charge, he did a heck of a job. And it looked effortless, as if he's been doing it. Right? Like he has an owner that doesn't know anything about the process. That's never seen the process, that's never been in the process, doesn't know anything. He had him hovering around, asking questions, wanting to know what's this, what's that, this, and that. And just to pause, like, and I'm okay with that, right? You have this owner that just spent over $6 billion for this team, and he wants to learn the process. And I think he wants to learn the process, not so to make decisions, but just have an understanding of the process, right? It's like at any job, people say he was hovering over, man, like he's following. That's how it is at any job when you're training somebody. Just think about it. When you're at a job, especially when you're younger and you're getting old, like summer jobs, you might work in fast food, or you get old, whatever the case may be. When you're training, you're following that person around. Right, you're following them around to see what's what. You're just on their hip the whole, like, while you're being trained, and that's what that was. It wasn't so like this is who he's going to be as an owner. He's trying to learn the process. Like, how am I supposed to fully grade Adam Peters if I don't know the job that Adam Peters is doing? Even though Adam Peters is teaching them, so you could say like he's teaching them what he wants them to know. That's fine too, because you can also, talk with other owners, and like he still has advisors and all that stuff, and you just kind of, learn the process, like see why they doing this. You know what I'm saying? So if these players actually hit, he can be like, you know what? That's how this process is supposed to happen. If these players actually perform on the field. And if they don't perform, he'd be like, nah, we need a new process because this ain't it. This process is not producing on the field. So that's what I'm thinking, how he's going to judge, what he's learning and what he's being taught. And they're probably used to it. Like, since Adam got here, Josh has been right there. So they're probably used to him kind of hovering around trying to learn this, and that. Even with the first pick, he was like, oh, do we call him now? Like, he was so excited about it. And Adam was like, nah, just, hold on. Like, they like for us to wait a little bit. I'm quite sure the first round, I like for them to wait a little bit because, NFL got to get that sponsor money. They got to get that marketing and advertising. Like, they got to get all that stuff out there. You know what I mean? So there's a process to that. But Adam was like, well, let's fake delivery. You know what I'm saying? So, it was really cool, man. Like, I don't think at all he is like trying to butt in or nothing like that, man. He's just trying to learn. He's trying to learn the job, which I'm cool with. The coordinators was interesting, right? It was like they was like, if I'm looking at you, just like I'm looking, it's like they were over there sitting down, like, I don't know, on their phone or whatever, just sitting down, waiting to be called. Right? Sitting down, waiting to be called. They already, like, we heard Adam Peters told all of them, and the process is, tell me, like, give me a breakdown, a folder of what you're looking for, what you need for your offense or your defense to be successful, for you need it to work. Tell me what you need. Right? And they take that information and they go through the process. So now I have my big board, and this is the players that's going to fit what you want to do. So he'll call, hey, Cliffy, come here, Cliffy. He called him Cliffy. That was crazy. Like, look, we looking to do this. We might trade, blah, 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 about this player right here, blah, 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 blah. He looked at it, blah, blah, blah. You know what I'm saying? So it's like Cliff, Witt, they not making those picks. I mean, Dan Quinn, he's not really making those picks. Adam Peters is making those picks. Those guys is just, he's having, hey, look, what do you think about this? What do you think about that? What do you think about this? That? And Adam is telling, like, Adam told them more about the players, right? He can do this, he can do that, he can do this, he can do that. And then when they tell him, oh, they excited, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, I can't wait. Fist bump, blah, 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 blah. And then they go back and take a seat. Did the same thing with Izzo. And Dan is the another thing I like is how he interacted with his staff. And we had a couple people come on that had connections to scouts and stuff over the network to say how much people love him because how much he cares for his staff, how much he communicates with them. And you can see that he's having a conversation, with Dan, with Josh. Hey, look, this is what we're going to do. And it was like, this is what we're thinking about doing. This is what we're going to do. It was more like, this is what it is, what you think about it, blah, blah, blah. And, they talk about it. Like we saying, they talk about it, blah, blah, blah. This is what we're going to do. This is what we're going to do. This is what we're going to do. Then they do it, or they're about to do it. Then he'll get up and turn and face his staff. This is what we're going to do. This is how we're going to do it. This player, we're going to get, this player can do this, this, and that. This player is this, this, and that. That is great, bro. Like, that's great. That's great leadership. Man, that is good, man. We need this to turn into wins. We need this to turn into wins. We need this to turn into competent football play, which I think it will. It's kind of hard to see your front office and your coaches putting work in and showing you that they've put work in. Like Adam Peters and his team, they put work in. Just watching that Commanders log, you can tell they put work in. They've been working around the clock. And I also like how during rookie minicamp, how Dan came in dressed and Adam Peters was there. It was like a little like, all right, here's your rookies. Now go ahead. It's like a little pass off between them two on the stage. Like, here's your rookies. Go ahead. Dan was like, thank you. Thank you for my rookies. Now it's my time. Now it's my time. You did your part. You got me these players. You got me the players I wanted, the players I agreed on, whatever. Now it's my time. So thank you. Now it's time to work. There was no friction there, because we've heard in times past, like, the coach ain't want this person, the owner wanted this person, the GM ain't want this person, the scouts are saying, no, we don't need to get this person. A lot of friction there. And when there's friction, there's resentment in a sense. So now you might have an offensive coordinator that's really don't want to teach this quarterback. I'm only doing it just because I have to. You want people to do stuff because they want to. You want employees that want to work there, that want to work there, that want to. It's so much easier to get things done when you want to get them done. Just think about it. If somebody come and, hey, look, tell you to do something, they don't tell me what to do. Even though you'll do it, but just if you think about it yourself, let me go do that. It's so much easier when I want to do something. And I don't think we had a whole lot of want tos during the past regimes. But it seems like we have it now. A lot of people that want to do it. So I'm definitely excited about that. Definitely excited about that. OTAs is wrapped up. 6 weeks. So these guys are going to go off to go do whatever. I'm sure we're going to hear something about them, the quarterbacks and the receivers linking up somewhere, some beach or something, with the skilled players and the quarterbacks. You're going to hear some stuff about the defense probably linking up somewhere, so there's going to be a lot of that over the next few weeks. But it's very important for those guys to rest up, especially for these rookies that don't know the grind. They don't understand this grind that's about to happen, something they've never experienced before. It's good to have veterans around, veterans on the team to be able to explain that to them. Because it's going to be a grind, because once you come in July, man, it's from July to January. And if you're really good, it might be July to February. So it's going to be a grind, man. So hopefully they rest up, spend some time with their families, whatever, spend their little money that they just got with their family, go on vacation, and just get ready, man. Get ready to come back. Everyone that might be a little gimpy here and there, heal up. Get better. And to the fans, man, like get better, heal up. Protect your team. Don't dog your team in front of other places, in front of other fan base. It's okay. It's okay. Not it's okay to be concerned about different position groups. That's fine, but don't dog them in front of other fan bases, man. It's okay. Like I can say, I'm very low on the defensive ends. Not saying that I am, but I ain't gotta dog them. I want them to get better. I want them to be better. And it's something Double A mentioned, how important coaching is. It's very important, man. You know what I mean? Like, it's very important, but I always question talent versus coaching, right? Like, even though I have bad coaching, you should still see something in some players, right? Like, they still got to go out there and get a rep in, regardless if they're not put in the right position. Like, you still want to see them win. And I just didn't see enough of that. I just didn't see enough of straight one-on-one grit winning last year. So hopefully we'll see a whole lot of that more. Yeah, man. So I'm not. I'm. Don't think I'm gonna do anything tomorrow. I might just put out some clips. But to all of you fathers out there, male figures, men out there, happy Father's Day to you. Pray you enjoy this weekend. You enjoy Sunday. Us fathers, don't get that type of hoopla in a sense. On average that mothers get. Like, just think about it. When you go outside, when you going around the neighborhood, you driving around, you saying Mother's Day on every block. Somebody got a stand set up, but for Father's Day, you may get one. You know what I'm saying? So, but just do that, man. And again, prayers and stuff go up to see Roy and his family. I know that's tough for them, especially for his kids, his young kids, to lose their dad for one, and then to lose it on Father's Day weekend has to be tough. So keep them in your thoughts, keep them in your prayers as you're celebrating this weekend. So I definitely appreciate all of you for using your time. Using your time with me. Definitely appreciate it. And continue to check out, man. Like, set your notifications for me. Like, set the notifications in YouTube, putting out clips and different things like that, different videos, different shorts, so you get notified. Go ahead, check it out. Just spend some time with it. I ain't gonna be the whole time, 5-10 minutes with it. Give a comment, give a like this video. Definitely appreciate you. Got a lot of things coming up, a lot of things about to pop off, a lot of different shows about to start back up in a few weeks. Got a couple new shows. So we're definitely excited about that. But yeah, man, appreciate y'all for joining me. I know your time is very valuable for you to spend it with me, but definitely appreciate it. Remember, do it because you love it, not because it loves you. One beat, one sound, one heart, one love.